live. So let's see. Jim, just let me know when it pops up. And we can... Yes, there is a delay. There's a term for that in the radio business. Respect our 3-second delay or 5-second delay or whatever that is. Get those ornery callers. No, he's not, because he's not on the board anymore. That's why we have... Yeah, so she'll be on a little bit later. All right, we're live. Yay! Well, let's get going here. I'm going to call the May 2020 WSGA board meeting to order. Let me just quickly go down and do a roll call. We'll start with Annette. Chris of the Northwest. Cliff. Deb will be on later. Jean is not present. Jerry. Jesse. Yes. Continue. He said, wait a second. Okay, Jesse's here. Lori. Patrick. And the Super Nuts. There they are. Hi. Hello, Vicky. All right. So at this point... Oh, forgot Blue Canoe. Aaron, yes. Thank you. I need to add you to my list here. It was all in alpha order, and I completely spaced you. Okay. All right. Well, Annette, then you. Well, actually, Annette, then Chris, then Cliff, Deb, and then you. I was doing by first names. All right. So Jean is not present, and Deb's going to be on later. And that rounds everybody out. Okay. Jim, the webmaster, we invite him. It'd be great if he shows, but he's not a voting member, so you're not either. That's right. Okay. Let's slide right into welcoming all the board members and guests. So those of folks over in YouTube country, welcome to the meeting. This particular meeting is not going to be chock full of a lot of stuff given what's going on, and we'll get into that a little bit, but welcome to our live studio audience, I guess. All right, let's move right quickly down to approval of the May 2020 meeting minutes. That was my mistake. That should be March. If you looked on the agenda, we can't approve to this meeting's minutes yet. It hasn't happened. The 47th of April. That's right. Didn't realize there was that many days in that one. So anyway, Jim put out the meeting notes from the March meeting. We'll open this up for comments. Any questions, comments, changes? Nothing? Okay. Well, next order of business is someone to put up a motion to approve them. Any seconds? Vote with the little reactions. Well, I was going to go down the list. There you go. So I guess Lori has seconded that. I like that, Lori. Thank you. It works visually. All right. Well, there you go. We'll you tell you what, we're going to go down. I'll go down the list, and you can put your hand up, and I'll just verbally, acknowledge it. So we'll start with Annette. We're voting to approve the March meeting minutes. Okay, Annette's an aye. Next is Chris of the Northwest. He's got a thumb up. That's an aye. Mr. Cliff. Yep, he's got a thumb up. That's also an aye. Deb's not here. Jean's not here. Jerry. Jerry's giving a physical thumbs up, so we'll accept that as an aye. Miss Jessie. Yep, there's hers. It's an aye. Lori has her thumb up. That's an aye. Patrick's giving us a verbal aye. The Supernauts. There it is. Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so that would be 2 eyes then from you. Okay, so over there. And then Aaron went out of order, but you got your eye there too. I should put you. Well, no, I mean the order, alphabetical order. You're not out of order. You do. Okay. Well, the ayes definitely have it, so we will approve those meeting minutes from March. Okay, let's pop right into the treasurer's report, which I am going to grab over here. It's weird having paper in front of me instead of looking at things electronically. I'm so not used to that anymore. Okay, so Deb did a nice little financial report, and this is her report is pretty much going to mirror a lot of things that are going to be talked about this evening. Essentially the COVID outbreak is affecting a ton of different things. I think there's not one aspect of a person's life or genre of business that is being affected by it, and the WSGA is definitely not immune to this either. So she's talking about membership sales being down. I see a lot of these emails that come in where people are renewing their memberships. So I haven't really seen. It doesn't seem like there's a drastic difference to me when I see these emails, because they seem to be pretty frequent and coming in. Yes, Jesse. Okay, yeah, I see that now. And again, is that really a surprise? I mean, March is when things really got rolling in terms of COVID, but I think it all goes back, and she talks about it in her report about, it's just the presence, the WSGA presence. Our biggest presence is really our events that we do, and holding events, whether they be CETOs or picnics or just general gatherings as a whole. I mean, that's our presence. Yeah, or just any kind. Exactly. So that these really go hand in hand, and so it's not a surprise that we're not doing events, and therefore I don't want to say we're out of sight, out of mind, but in a way it kind of goes hand in hand with that. So anyway, we'll have to try to figure out something that we can do. And I don't know if that's just pounding social media like crazy. That works for some people, but not everybody's, tied into Facebook and Twitter and all that. I mean, I'm certainly open to anybody's suggestions on how we can, have our name out there. People remember us, don't forget about us in the background. What was that, Aaron? I thought that was already happening. Some people get them, some people don't. Because I know I've personally have gotten one where it says, "Hey, you're 2 weeks out from your membership expiring." So maybe that's something we can go back to Jim and Polowitz and see if maybe there's something we can do. And actually, with that, you brought up a good point, and that is just sending out, mass emails. Oh, that even sounded bad. Mass emails. Who wants those? But no, I mean sending emails out to membership, reminding them, hey, just to everybody. Not only we can, and this suggestion came up actually from the Inland Empire, as a matter of fact. The question came up from somebody out there and said, hey, how about sending an email that reminds everybody about our board meeting? And my response is, well, we publish it in other places like our website, and we do put it on, various social media outlets. But their quick response was, well, not everybody's on social media. I said, well, we have a website and we do post stuff there. So, but that's something I think we can look at too, is we use that function to do our voting for our positions. So why, we use it as essentially an electronic ballot. Why couldn't we use that same platform and email members, reminding them about our upcoming board meetings, and at that same time use that as a vehicle to say, hey, just as a quick reminder, you may want to check out our website, and if you're not sure if you're still an active member, you can go online and check that. So we can kind of use that every other month. We could be sending out those emails and reminding folks, hey, check our website. Here's our next board meeting. Also, I'm doing weekly Geo Cafes Saturday nights. The dogs love the idea. But doing that, and I can use that platform. We don't get a lot of people on that Geo Cafe thing. We might have 10 people. We have some regulars that show up. Like Mountain Goat over there, and Tease shows up every so often, and a few other folks. We have some regulars. Lori's on there, but we could use that as another vehicle to remind people, and that's a weekly thing that I do. So we can certainly use that as well. Just remind folks to renew and visit our website. And so there's things I think we can do for some of that stuff to hopefully kind of pump up our membership, even though we don't have events going on to remind people that we're still here. Okay. Let's see. Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, that's even better. If there's a way to do that. Now we're getting into some pretty technical stuff. That's definitely over my head. And maybe that's something that Jim or even Mitch can look at. And if we can just set them on like an auto rotation where every other month we're sending those out. That's not too invasive. Reminding people of our board meeting, and then, being able to tell them what their current status is. It's a great reminder. And he'll be doing it every other month. So it's like, hey, we got our, board meeting coming up in 2 weeks. Hey, while you're... Mm-hmm. If... Mm-hmm. 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 Well, and if we would have to figure out what the frequency is. Would we do it every other month? Maybe do a quarterly. Quarterly might be a little bit easier to do. It's the frequency isn't as often as say our board meetings, but the flip of that is it's quarterly. So if you're using that to pump membership and keep the WSGA and everybody's forefront of their minds, doing a quarterly probably isn't going to work out for that particular scenario, for that thing. So I kind of like the every other month thing, just because we're already preparing for our board meetings and we're getting the word out. So that would be the time to mass mail or email our members and use that as a platform to pump various things. So if there's a cash machine or whatever is happening coming up, within a month or so of that board meeting, we can maybe toss that in there. Of course, right now there's no events going on, so there wouldn't really be much to promote as that goes. But I think using it to promote, other ways of geocachers to get together, like Zoom meetings, like the Caching in the Northwest podcast, for instance, which is a great weekly show that people can watch. Then there's the Geo Cafe, and I know JD and Lisa have their little get together Friday evenings. So there's other ways we can promote geocaching gatherings without having an event. And then while we're at it, we can pump us as an organization. Renew, please visit our store. We got lots of merchandise, that kind of stuff. So I think that's a question for Jim and or Mitch, and see how we can put that into play, because I'd like to see that happen. Definitely. Okay, so anything else on the treasurer's report? We really don't have an operating budget. I get that was on there. I mean, we're gonna roll into that piece of it here. We already kind of talked membership. We're kind of bouncing around on my thing here. But as an operating budget goes, I mean, we're not having an ape event. That's our biggest money, income. That's not happening this year. There's just not. We're focusing our efforts on next year. Mm-hmm. No, I think we got a design. Did we not, Jesse? I like the coin design, was pretty awesome. Yeah, I think in hindsight, that was probably one of the best things we did, because we would have had all this money tied into something that we weren't going to get that back for quite a while. So in a lot of ways, I think that worked out for us as an organization in a good way. And ultimately, it gives us more time to plan and strategize and fundraise and all those things that we're definitely going to need to do for APE 2021. So I mean, we still need to obviously get that site nailed down. And again, with the uncertainty of COVID and all this other nonsense that's happening here right now, with everything just getting closed down, I mean, we don't even know what 2021 is going to be like. I mean, we have to get to a certain phase in the restarting, and right now that no one's talking about phase 3, and so that's a whole other challenge. I'm really hoping by next year we will be through all that stuff, but it's gonna be a while. It's got to be the rural counties that are going to do it. They'll be ahead of all the big populations, counties. So that's places like, central and eastern Washington, pretty much. I love the fact that it's in there. No, but that's a good point. That is a good point. It's just outside King County, and Kittitas probably could have gone to 2, but that frozen food outfit over there in Ellensburg had a whole bunch of people spike with positive tests. So, I mean, that county would have done it, but I think Ellensburg kind of messed it up for them because they could have had it. I think they would have easily have been in the orange. Yeah, and that's really the key to this whole thing. And right. Even though it looks like that they could apply and go to if they wanted. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, Thurston can't, which surprises me. But you figure if any of the counties were, you think Thurston wouldn't, which is amazing. Yeah, well, it's not. Thurston's not exactly a low population county by no means. So it's interesting that they can. Maybe the governor's presence in that county is just overwhelming to everybody, and they're just doing what they're supposed to be doing. I don't know, but anyway, and there was a whole bunch I thought over on the Olympic Peninsula. In fact, the entire Olympic Peninsula looked like it was lit up in orange. So any of those counties, including Kitsap, could apply. Oh, is that right? Okay. Breaking news there. Wow. Okay. Hmm. Well, I thought that was tribal land out there, but you know, yeah, they pretty much can kind of do whatever they want. So they're outside of the governor's reach. But anyway, I mean, I know some of the casinos were starting to open, which I guess is good. They got to make money too, I suppose. Okay, let's roll on here. We talked a little bit about membership, so I won't really need to hash over that again. Other than we just need to try to get members to renew, and we've got some ideas on that. The chapter reports is next on the agenda. I mean, again, who's done anything that's worthy of doing a report? Well, we're not doing events, so there's really not much to report on that. I mean, unless anybody has done something that maybe they got in just before before the bar came down and closed up. Yeah, go ahead, Chris. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. So you've got so you are officially Puget Sound chapter rep now, which is great. Except, good luck. No, there won't be a summer picnic or any of those other things that we're going to talk about here in a minute. What was that? Ever? Yeah. Except the big tote, and then just sit tight. I saw Jessie waving her hand. Oh, in victory. Okay. I thought you had something to say. All right, but we'll take the victory lap for sure. So if anybody else has something they want to report in their chapter, go for it. This is your opportunity. Otherwise, we'll move on. Okay. Really, we have Parks Liaison. Again, Annette, I can't imagine there's anything going on in Parks. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm. Mm-hmm. Well, I did see that email exchange between you and Jeff. Did he did he say anything about a reduced fee for that? Because I thought you had a great suggestion of talking him down for the cost a little bit. I don't know if he's agreed to that. Yes. Hmm. Okay. Okay. They may be interested in doing that. I mean, again, I can't imagine there's a lot of geotour activity going on with groups and organizations trying to start them. With again, if there's not a lot of tourism going on, so they may be interested in keeping that tour going, and if they're willing to accept a slightly reduced fee, then that might work. And those caches, I mean, I have a few of them. They get hit quite often. They're probably some of my more active caches, actually. Um, yeah, it. So I mean, the tour is still pretty popular, and people are making and hitting those caches. So it's kind of like it's going, and I think we want to keep it going, and if they're willing to accept a slightly reduced fee, just to keep a popular geo tour going, they may accept that. I think he didn't he say something about extending it, giving us an extension of like 4 months or something? I thought he said, yeah, to kind of help with funding challenges. But again, like you said, the port's not seeing traffic, so both seaport and the airport in particular, which whereas where they're getting a lot of their tourism dollars. So yeah, so let's see. Yeah, keep us in the loop on what happens with that. I'll be interested to see where that goes. Okay. The outreach report is kind of just like everything else. No one's asking. No one wants a geocaching class. I mean, it just isn't happening, which is not a surprise. So, and typically it kind of heats up in the summer anyway. So we're kind of on the fringe of that, but definitely. Well, I do have the GPS units. They're right over there in their little case. I check on them every now and then. Go online and have Garmin update them, just make sure they're fresh. So they're there. We got them. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, the summer things really tend to heat up anyway. It'll just be interesting to see what happens around here. You know, where we are and what phase, and are people gathering publicly, or, you know, who knows? Who knows how that's going to play out? So merchandise, I'll talk a little bit on that. I've had a smattering of orders come in. The last one was actually a pretty good size order, and it did not come from this country of all places. We had some guy in Antwerp, Belgium, order a bunch of our ape coins, which I thought was pretty cool. So he dropped a good $100+ on coins from us, which I thought was fantastic. So that was the last big order, and I think we had another smaller domestic one before that. So there really hasn't been much on the merchandise side. Not surprising. But, you know, we just need to pump it, let everybody know, hey, we still got stuff to sell. We got all those nifty little tags to buy. If somebody's interested in our little chapter tags, we got them. They're here. So again, I think we can promote that through some sort of mass emailing thing that we do. And maybe one thing we could do, Jesse, too, is we haven't done this in a little while, is do a little social media deal where we have, for a limited time only, a special discount code like we've done in the past for holidays and such. Maybe we can do a spring blues kind of a... There you go. We could come up with some idea to, you know, promote a discount or something. So I think we should do that again. Try to get some sales out the door. So I think that's something we can do. We'll promote that. So that's it for merchandise. Unless anybody has any questions, we'll move on. Social media is next. And Jesse, like I said, we've already kind of looked at it. Great report. One other thing I was thinking of, and I think maybe Aaron mentioned it or somebody did, about having some kind of a WSGA challenge, which I think would be kind of a fun thing to do because that keeps people engaged. But again, as Jesse pointed out, we have to be, socially responsible. And if we start, doing puzzle solving, type of activities where we try to get people to solve, so many puzzles in a certain amount of time and then go out and get them, yeah, that may not be such a good idea. It might work again in some places. I think, especially in Jerry's area where he's got quite a few counties over there that are at phase two. But for us to be doing something like that when we're supposed to be all under stay-at-home orders, I'm a little leery of doing any sort of a contest or that sort of thing. And I don't even know how we would even try to run something like that anyway. It'd be a little challenging. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. And it's all the more reason that we as an organization let people know that we're out here, especially for those new cashers that have, thanks to the COVID outbreak, they have found a fun activity they can do with their family, and now they're just like, they get into it. I mean, we've all been there. We all know what it was like when we first started out. It was, there's that whole euphoric of, wow, this is great. I get to use the GPS rather than getting me from here to somebody's party or some business. I can actually use it to go find something in the woods. What a great. Exactly. We all have been there. It's that. Mm, mm. So. Mm-hmm. You're right. It's. Well, I mean, obviously, you see an opportunity for outreach and stuff too, with all these new folks coming on and wanting to learn more. So there's certainly opportunities for us. I can see a number of opportunities for us just to, kind of get some of these new folks in and kind of give them a little more of a, I wouldn't necessarily say a deep dive on geocaching, but at least give them somewhat of a drop down so they kind of understand the game a little more and all that. But again, our hands are tied with having, public gatherings like that. So we're kind of stuck there, but we'll figure this out. I mean, companies all over the place are trying to figure out how to deal with it. So I think we have some good ideas on how we can keep us in everybody's mind and trying to keep geocaching in the forefront as best we can in these trying times. Okay, so if there's anything else on social media, we can get to the old business here unless somebody else has something to add. Okay, let's talk about the ratifying the email vote on the treasurer position. So we did a in-between email vote on the treasurer position with, again, thanks to COVID, but not, I mean, some of it has to do with COVID, but the fact that Deb and Annette have not had a really good opportunity to sync up and kind of go through the ins and outs of all of the treasurer jobs and position. What we did is we went ahead and did an email vote to allow Deb to stay in that position, at least for now. I'm trying to think if we set a time. Jim, do you recall? Do you have that email information up somewhere? I don't. Is it the meeting minutes? Did you stuff it in there? Okay. Oh, there it is too. Right. So I know I've specifically kind of focused more on the treasurer position, but really, of the two positions that had changes for this current tenure, only the Puget Sound chapter rep has been able to officially make the transition. So congratulations, Chris, on your new assignment there. Unfortunately, both the secretary as well as the treasurer, we're sort of in between people, so to speak. Well, one of these days, hopefully soon, you two can connect up and kind of do the formal handoff of. Yeah, and maybe come down to just that. You meet in a parking lot somewhere, vacant community college parking lot somewhere, and you do the switch off. It'll be like some kind of drug deal going down or something. But there is some equipment though too. Mm-hmm. She is. So yeah, I mean, you guys could probably connect somehow and make that happen. Of course, practice social distancing and all that. Of course, however you guys want to connect, I'll let you two work that out. But if you can, if there's a way you could do it before our next meeting, that'd be great. The treasurer, unfortunately, that's a much more involved position. Not only, I think Annette, you have all the. I think Deb did give you all the gear, the stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, yeah. Annette, just having you on this board and being our treasurer is enough. We yeah, and you both you and Pete were connected to this organization for quite a while, and it's just nice to have you on, even in a limited capacity as you are right now, on the board and being involved, because it's we like the fact that you guys have been members and have been involved with the WSGA for many years. So we can wait. We can make this happen. At least Deb was able to give you the gear and the equipment, even though she's now in no longer in Washington. But at least you have the gear, so you guys can talk. I know there's a letter that we're going to need to do here, the financial side, to get the debit cards and stuff together and all that. Yeah, we have that bit of business to tend to as well. So there's some things that still need to be done from that standpoint, that needs to be taken care of. And I'm trying to think, the secretary would need to be involved with that too. So there you go, Lori. There's another thing. So see, there's a lot of paperworky stuff that still needs to be done to make it a formal transition. So we've got a few things we got to do on that end. So again, something we'll get figured out here. So let me read the vote. We had everybody. We had basically it was ayes all the way across the board. So basically, what we did is, if I can find the beginning of this thing here. So yeah, basically we did an email vote. Was called to extend the treasurer and secretary positions until the virus has calmed down, and the tally was Cliff Aaron Jesse Patrick Lori Chris the Northwest and Jerry We had a couple of abstains, of course. So Deb did not vote, Annette did not vote, Jim did not vote, Gene did not. He was an abstain. He didn't vote. So at this point, we're going to leave it kind of like that. It's weird having kind of dual people in some of these positions, but this is a temporary situation, and hopefully we can get these all resolved. And I think really the secretary and the treasurer, like you said, Jim, I think we have to transition the treasurer and get all the paperwork done before really the secretaries can switch their, take over. Lori could take over for Jim. Yeah. We'll get through this together. Doggone it, we will. There you go. Well, the nice thing is you'll be able to reference the meeting again over on YouTube. Okay, so we've talked about the treasurer position already. So I'm kind of hoping we can get all this done by our next board meeting in July. So hopefully, fingers crossed. Okay, so we're gonna roll right down into the ape, the delayed ape. So Jesse, Madam VP, you are up. You have the con, as they say. Well, I think having it in Kittitas County, as we talked about earlier, is probably a good thing. They will be more apt to be at phase 4 quicker than King County. It may be tougher for our friends over at HQ with their huge event because they are right smack in the middle of King County. But that's a great point you bring up because if we do food and that kind of thing, that just adds another layer. I mean, who really knows what things are going to look like next year? I mean, we're I think hopefully optimistic. I love that term. Hopefully optimistic that things will be back to normal. But in 2021, but who really knows? It may not be. We may still be having outdoor events where people have to be tested. You've seen on the news where they've got I think the airports are doing it now where they have these special cameras that can they can look at you and know what your temperature is. I mean, that could be a possibility. We don't know. It's yeah. I mean, it could potentially be even more expensive if you factor in that they have to have a environmental crew that are there to clean things on a regular basis. And I mean, who knows? I mean, we just that's going to be part of a post COVID world that we're going to be in. So, okay. Does anybody have anything else for Jesse? Any questions for her? Comments? I like that idea because we'll bring the people. This will be good to see how their personnel will be like I don't know, a dry run, a practice run, to see how they're going to handle what a ski season would look like. There. Right, but this will give them an idea, and they may see some holes in their planning where they go, oh, gee, we need to take care of this area over here that maybe we didn't think about or we thought it was staffed properly and maybe it's not. So, I mean, I like that. I like that idea, Cliff, of pitching that because it's, we can help them. We can help them with their potential problems with trying to deal with COVID. So I kind of like that. That's cool. Yeah, we just don't, and a lot of it's going to be put on the counties too, and of course the state's going to have mandates. We know that, but a lot of it, I think they'll kind of put it on the counties too. So we'll have to see what Kittitas does, see how that plays out. Okay. 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 Yeah, we may have a long report in July. We may have a very super short one. Who knows? But we'll keep it on there because it's, it's relevant, and we need to plan for next year, and we just have to assume it's going to happen next year, and that's really all we can do. What it's going to look like will be anybody's guess. So yeah, we'll keep it on the itinerary for now. Okay, so we kind of alluded a little bit on this next item, WSGA events, but we'll kind of formalize it now. Since the state is not listing any events at this point, and in my fairly recent conversation with one of the Washington State publishers, the reviewers, they do not have a timetable as to when they are looking at publishing events. As we talked about, caches are being published in counties that are at phase 2 level. But that's only in those counties at this point. Events are a completely different topic, and they are still not publishing events. And at this point, they don't know when that will be. Does that mean the county has to go to a phase 3? Or does it mean they have to go to a phase 4? They just don't know. They have not. Mm-hmm. Well, if you think about it, the event host is going to be kind of on the hot seat for any of those events. So that means you're going to have to regulate how many people are coming into your event. So if you're at phase 3, it may be, okay, public gatherings of 50 people. You're on the hot seat for making sure you don't have more than 50 people at your event. Well, there you go. The log might be, provide us your email address and a way to contact you in case. Yeah, exactly. So that could be an interesting. We could have all different kind of logs now where we want more information about our attendees. So interesting. No. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's going to depend on where the event is, where it's being held, who's putting it on. They may even, I can see them easily coming up with some sort of protocol for events going forward. How are you planning on dealing with social distancing? And, they may have a whole list of things if you want to do an event. So I would not be surprised at all if that's happening, and I'm sure it will. One interesting point someone mentioned about a community celebration event that is going on over in Idaho, which is, of course, outside of Washington, and they're in a different such state than we are in terms of the COVID. There's a big celebration event going on over there. I think it's in June. Jerry probably knows what I'm talking about. June 20th. Yes, and what do you know what the current state is over in Idaho in terms of the COVID? Are they allowing public gatherings of like so many people, or? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. All right. So it may not be so much an issue over there, but one thing somebody was saying the other day was, well, okay, you're going to have all these people from Washington that are like, want to go to a celebration event, so they're going to trek on over to Idaho. And all of a sudden you've got, an event that's got 100 and something people. So I think the reviewers are a little concerned about that kind of thing because it was a reviewer who mentioned that to me. And so that's why they're very on edge about listing events at this point and don't have a protocol. So just something to think about going forward. So as that relates to WSGA events, obviously no events are getting listed. We're not having events. So that means the Puget Sound chapter summer picnic ain't happening. It won't be in the summer. Let's put it that way. Might be a fall picnic, maybe, but it won't be a summer picnic. I think that's pretty safe bet. The fall, that may not really be a reality either. So I think that's off. Speaking of the Puget Sound chapter, I think the holiday party is another thing that's probably not going to happen, which is typically in January, which is an indoor event. All the more reason to be a little concerned about social distancing in an indoor setup like that event usually is. So as those go, I think those are off the table. Camp out, definitely off the table at this point. And I'm trying to think if there's any other big events that other chapters do. Usually you guys have, as chapter reps, somebody usually has in a chapter somewhere, there's some big event that happens, usually if it's a picnic kind of thing. But at this point, I don't see any of those things happening, at least in the short term and potentially even the rest of the year at this point. I think it's going to depend on what HQ's protocol is and how they determine, when and where they're going to allow them. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a pretty safe bet. So that's going to make it tough on the chapter reps. I mean, that's really our biggest vehicle to keep awareness. We talked a little bit about this, but so if somebody asks any of the reps about events going forward, doesn't really matter which one it is. If it's a typical one we do every year, I think those are they're just not going to happen. I just can't envision it happening, unfortunately. So I just wanted to touch base on that, just so because I'm sure the questions will come out. I've had a couple of them already come in, and that's what I'm basically telling people is, hey, we can't publish them, so we're not even talking about them at this point. We're focusing on next year, and really the APE event is still, it's still in the planning stages, and we're hoping it's gonna happen. So that's. Does anybody have any questions on events? Yeah, 2021. When's the camp out? Well, did we not have so Cliff? Do we had reservations at Kama? Or push it till next year? I mean, that would be. Oh, okay, right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Jay approached me. That's Land Monkey, by the way. So Jay connected with me about he was actually wanting a what he called a lead people to Canada event. So he was talking about, you like that lead people to Canada, like maybe they didn't know how to get there, just keep going north. Yeah, he don't. Yeah, he just keep follow that compass. Go north. But anyway, he thought it would be a great idea if we, as a WSGA, did some sort of lead, event leading up to Woodstock and Abbotsford. So I think he would be fine with that, since he was talking about it, and I think we still could do that. And doing a two-nighter is, a 2-day event. I think we're fine with that. I can double check with him on if there's a specific day he would like to have. For some reason, Wednesday was sticking in my head, the Wednesday before Woodstock. But I can double check with him on that. Certainly, Chris in the Northwest can too, since he sees him weekly. Look, he's shaking his head. No, no. Mm-hmm. I think there's going to be a lot of people taking that week off anyway. Jim's week. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a great idea to give our members a leg up on reserving sites, whether it be tent sites or RV sites or whatever. Oh. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's definitely a team effort because I mean there's I mean it's a now Now you got the land sharks involved with that. So there it's both Chris and Helen. You remember her name, and then Christy and Jay for sure. So there's at least four people that are actively involved, and I think they all have their own roles and what they're doing. So yeah. Oh, is he? Okay. I think I knew that. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I would definitely say coordinate that, and with everything getting pushed back for another year, I mean, who knows what how it's affecting them on the with all their events and everything. So yeah, definitely check in with them and kind of plan from there at that point. Hmm. Yeah, and how far in advance they go. I always thought that there was a limitation of. Mm, yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So we should be all right, but yeah, obviously you need to make some contacts with the person over at Kama. So great, you get to know who that is. Yeah, I'm gonna think it's the monkey though. Just just my thought. Yes, he will know. Okay. Anything else on events? I think we kind of covered that. I have newly elected positions on here, but I think we've really kind of talked about that already. So we'll kind of go cross that one off and go into new business. And this is kind of a big one. We need to definitely talk about the 2020 member coin. We do them every year. So we definitely need to chat a little bit about what are we going to do with this crazy year we call 2020 and provide a member coin for our premium members. Jesse had an interesting idea that she emailed the group about. Jesse, I'll kind of toss it over to you because you had an interesting point, and I'd like to make sure first of all everybody has heard it and has seen the design. But talk a little bit about that coin idea that you have. Yeah, definitely do that. Yeah, I love the design. I'm just trying to figure out how we can do this. And maybe it's one of those deals where he gives us, or he design take the same design essentially and maybe change the metals in the coin so that one can be strictly for members, and then hey, if they want to have the whole set, then they can turn around and get the other one that's for our fundraising purposes, sort of as a kind of a tease to what the one of the first of the ape merchandise that we're going to have for 2021. So we can kind of have that as a not only a member bonus, but we're saying here, members, this is a snapshot, this is a sneak peek at some of our ape merchandise stuff for 2021. I think that would be a great selling point. What do you think on that, Jesse? In terms of having two different coins, but maybe they're in different mints, different metals. Mm-hmm. 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 Well, the one thought I had is we mint the one in the a different mint, whatever metal that we give to our members, and we mint exactly that number, so we don't have any left over. So we hand them out to our members and say, "That's it. This is our our gift for you being a premium member. You're getting this really cool special coin that only our members are getting. No one else can have it, right?" And then we mint the others in the gold or whatever color we choose to have, and then we sell that strictly for profit and fundraising. But the idea is we're giving something really special to our members that you can't buy that coin. We will not have extras. They will not be on our website. We're going to give them straight out to the members, and it's gone. And that, I think, is it makes it special to our members, and then that sort of feeds the want of, oh wow, okay, now I got it again. It goes back to the completist, the one that wants, and if those people want to go and buy the other one and the other version of it, hey, we'll put it on our website and we'll sell it, and that money will go desperately towards funding our event. So that was sort of my idea behind it. I mean, you guys talk about it. I want to hear what you all think. I don't know that it. Well, I don't. I mean, we've done like ape coins in the past with different colors, and I thought we've always done them all at the same time. So when we've done, a basic, a premium, and VIP, it's the same design, same coin, just different coloring, and that's. Well, all right. So I don't know, Jesse or Cliff. Let's explore this idea, and just see. I mean, obviously Mark's gonna have a lot of info on that, but I think we got to explore that because I think we really need to do two coins. But if we can have one design and just different metals, I think that's going to save us money down the road and still achieve what we need to do. Okay, yeah, I think that's a great idea. We, Perfect. We might have to, Jesse. We may have to accidentally leak the design out. Yeah. All right. Well, we may have a solution to this issue of we really need a fundraising coin, but we also owe our members a coin as well, and we might be able to kind of kill two birds with one coin here, possibly. Yeah, Jim. Great question. We're basically whetting their appetite a little bit. And it's nice because we're not doing an ape event this year. So I really like the idea of having something ape oriented that we get out this year. Just again, so it's in their folks' minds. Hey, we're still going to have an ape event. It's just not going to be this year. But here's something to kind of whet your appetite for 2021. And great idea. There's the cautious Jesse talking right there, and I love that. Mm. Mm. It was the workaround. Mm. Right. It's a good thing that, and I'm sure there's probably a lot of mega event organizers that might be in that boat right now, where they had a bunch of T-shirts made up with 2020 on them. Oh, oh man, another victim. Like I said, I don't think there's going to be too many mega events this year around here in this state, in this country, anyway. You know, that's a good point. That's something that Lisa and JD had mentioned too. Is and I'll share this with everybody, but it's something we need to kind of think about as well. Is keep in mind all the mints are in China that do these coins. Well, where did COVID originate out of? Well, China. So what's happened is the mints have been affected by just not having enough personnel because of the illness and the virus, and so they are running kind of limited crews at these mints. And what's happening is they're getting some inexperienced people in the mints, and the coin quality is affected by it tremendously. They're seeing coins coming in that have lots of flaws that have to be scrapped. So you're not seeing the typical quality that you see coming out of the mints. And then on top of that, because they don't have a full crew running the mints right now, what's happening is it's taking twice as long for the coins to even come out. So it's probably a good thing that everything's happening next year, and that's going to give the mints time to get the coins produced and put out. So all the more reason that if we were going to have a coin out this year, that we kind of jump on this, because it may not be until December that we actually see the coins. So the longer we're kind of dragging our feet on this, that's going to affect when we'll see the coins, and it may even be 2021 early. So something to think about, but it's something we're going to be dealing with for any coins that we do this year. And thankfully, I think if we just do one, that's good for us because of cost and production delays and those sorts of things that we're going to see. So I wanted to share that with everybody. Okay, if nothing else, Chat Lackey Jim, our next bit here is member comment. What's going on over in YouTube country? I am not. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Fair enough. So anything else from board members? We'll open it up to you guys. It's an interesting idea. I didn't even thought about that, but you got a good point too. I mean, nobody's really Another good fundraiser. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I wonder if Mark can slap together a quick, simple design. Yeah. Well, I mean, Washington has a little bit of claim to fame since we had the first, I don't know, official, yeah, for what that's worth. Yeah, just a simple like round coin. Maybe you'll have a red, outline with the red slash and the ape in the middle, and it says "Not in 2020." And then on the oh, well, there you go. That's even better. Oh yeah, there you go. I like that too. We have some great ideas. We can make some pretty awesome coins. Interesting idea. I like it actually. The toilet paper is a great example. I think that's perfect. Um, okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's things we could probably do. Maybe that's something we look at for next year. I don't know. We may have more of a budget for it. But anyway, okay. Is anything else for anybody? So it's 8:22. This will be the earliest we've done it. So we can kind of move to wrapping this up. The next meeting is just so happens to be on my birthday of all days. How the heck did that happen? So July 15th. I'll be here, I promise. You may have a really? Okay. All right. That's awesome. Did you say something, Annette? You were talking there. Grandbaby. Okay. All right. So yeah, we'll do the same thing again. This seemed to work out pretty well. So we'll see. Once we shut the streaming down, we'll see how well it really works. But at least it was on there and we were able to stream it. And everybody was able to see it. Okay. Well, what was that, Jim? Yeah. Well, it was easier. And that too. It's amazing how quick we can move things along that way. Yes, I agree. Yeah, that's definitely a Zoom plus right there. And we can the biggest thing is we could schedule it. I could send out an email with the link, and we just didn't have that. We had to bring everybody individually through Teams, and it was just a royal pain in the what. So this is so much easier, and it's worth the 12 something a month that I'm paying to have this little nifty Zoom thing. So, and I'm using it, so it's not just for this meeting, but the weekly gathering I'm doing, which is a lot of fun. If any of you have not done it, you should join us. It's 7:30 on Saturday nights. It's kind of an open forum. There's no real set anything. J Car is on it quite often. He's a regular. Mountain Goat over there in Jerry's country over there. He's on there. Another Jim, no less. I know, 3 gyms. It's a lot of fun. Gym 1, 2, 3. So we get some really good conversations on there, and it's just open forum. So if you're bored on a Saturday night, locked in your bunker and can't go anywhere, come join us. So with that, I'm ready to adjourn. How do the rest of y'all feel? You're ready to call it? Since Annette has indicated that we don't need to necessarily do the vote for that. So And I'm pretty sure I think I saw that in the Roberts rules. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and unless there's any objections, we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. So we'll see. Yes, yes. Thanks you all for showing up and joining us. And this is a record. It's 8. It's not even 8:30. Almost. Yeah. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you in July, if not sooner. Take care, everybody.